Hey, it's your pal Mike Shea from SlyFlourish.com here with another episode of Sly Flourish's Lazy D&D Prep. This is a show shot 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Times on Twitch in which I go through steps from Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master while preparing for my Sunday D&D game. In this case, I am running the game, an Eberron game, an Eberron homebrew game called Eberron the Second Mourning. This show, like all of the Sly Flourish work, is brought to you by the patrons of Sly Flourish. You can go to patreon.com/SlyFlourish and become a patron as well. Patrons have a lot of access to exclusive content, including adventure generators, uncovered secrets, secret tips for your D&D game, and an exclusive adventure called Regnum Ratus, the Rats in the Cellar, access to a private Discord chat, and more. A monthly newsletter as well. So if you want to help support the show, you can do so by going to patreon.com and becoming a patron of Sly Flourish. So I just had a 30-minute delay on this show because my Windows update was screwing up. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out in the chat while we were doing that. And if anybody has any thoughts or questions about anything, please feel free in the chat to talk about it. I also have a couple of new things. So there is now a chat bot. You can do, I think it's !commands will tell you what commands are available. It's mostly to when people come in and say, hey, what are you using for your campaign notebook? That looks really cool. Somebody can type bang Notion and it will tell people all about Notion. That was the number one. It's really there to help Evil John. Evil John is our patron saint of the Sly Flourish Discord or Sly Flourish Twitch chat. And he now has easier ways to tell people what the hell's going on. So last session, they finally finished the Seven Samurai style. Hey, look at that. Bang, Notion. Mike is using Notion. So they finally finished the Seven Samurai adventure for Fire Spur. This was a whole big piece. They were in the Underdark of Eberron, which is known as Khyber, and they helped a underground village of goblins defend their red dragon wormling from getting grabbed up by bugbears who wanted to add it to their monstrous menagerie. And the characters solved the problem by breaking into the menagerie from a bunch of underground waterways, kicked in the door of the boss, and summarily beat the dog snot out of the boss. They actually cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on him, and he failed his saving throw on the order of like 9 times. I think he tried to make his save like 9 times. He was not a legendary monster. And he had 3 owlbears and a wyvern that were with him as well. And between the owlbears and the wyvern and him, it was already like a pretty deadly fight. But the Tasha's Hideous Laughter on him just completely destroyed him. And even though every time he takes damage, he gets a saving throw. So he was making 3 saves a turn because he was getting hit twice, and then he'd make a save at the end of his turn. He failed 9 times. Like I rolled and he needed like a 12 or better. It wasn't unreasonable. But I never rolled above a 12 in 9 rolls, right? And that's how it happens. And so you're like, I'm part of me, like I tell you, like a 4th edition part of me would have been wicked pissed. But I'm like, well, that's okay. Like again, I didn't do a lot of work to make him. I'm like, hey, Frost Giant, right? But he never got a single hit in. So the threat on the characters wasn't really that great. But it was a memorable fight, and they're all going to remember about the fact that they had a boss under Tasha's Hideous Laughter for 3 full rounds, including beating him up. So that's cool. That's fine. But boy, the Savor Suck spells in 5th edition are certainly like that. And you think like, I still like the idea of like 13th Age where there's hit point limits. So it's like, can you cast Tasha's, a lot of those spells, like those debilitating spells, it would be a lot better if you could really only do them on weaker creatures, not stronger creatures, if they had hit point limits. So I don't know if I think 3rd edition had hit dice limits on things, like you can cast this spell, but only on creatures with hit dice less than X. And 13th Age has it where you can only, there's a hit point threshold. It'll only affect creatures that have hit points of X or less. And I like that better because it's like you should be able to Tasha's Hideous Laughter the wyvern maybe, or certainly a bugbear. But the boss, it's such a narrative change in how we expect boss fights to go. And maybe that's okay because like we remember that, remember that kind of thing. But I don't know. It's still kind of irked me. So they beat the boss. They went back to Fire Spur. They had a big party. Everybody, they got some treasure from the ancient dragon that used to live there. had left a bunch of treasure. So they got some cool treasure. And then they saw that there was an ancient Kyber door in one chamber underneath. The goblin said, "You remember we told you not to go to a certain place? Well, we're going to let you go there now." And it was a doorway with like a mercury sheen to it. It looked like liquid silver. And they stepped through and each of them disappeared. And that was where we ended the adventure. And that's where we're going to start our adventure today. Today may be a slightly abbreviated show because I got started half an hour late. And I got a game to go too. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I can survive going long if I need to. So we are going to go to our Eberron section. Oh, and so I want to, we'll see if the other thing is there. So that was my Wednesday game. We can drag that to our old adventures. And we click on the session planning template and we click duplicate. And now we have where's the duplicate? Did they make a duplicate? What happened just now? Oof, I removed it or something. Duplicate. There we go. That was weird. Thank God for undo. Okay, so we go up to the top, click in there. I gotta move this window. It's off the edge of the screen for me. And we have 6 September 2020, Sunday Eberron. We will start, as we always do, by reviewing the characters. So we will go to, I am going to open up a new window for this one. I guess you can't. Here's the quick links. New fast ways to look things up. What am I looking at? Eberron Notebook. So here we go to Sunday characters. So we have the 6 characters in our game are Zarentir Delander, a dragon-marked member of House Delander. He is a storm-marked storm sorcerer. Is empowered lightning bolts that do max damage on a lightning bolt, which is what, 8 times 6? Math is hard. 6, is that what, 42, 48 points? He lost his father's airship. It blew up. I don't know what we're going to do about that. That's going to be kind of interesting. We have Saber, who is a bounty hunter monk of the Four Winds shifter. We have Shift, who is a warforged. She was the original warforged. She's actually made out of both organic and warforged material. One of the first, or maybe the first warforged. She has her brother Crash in her head in a special kyber crystal. She has she is tied to the Emerald Claw and some other connections. Shane Husk is a noted author. Oh, Shift is a warlock, and her patron is who is it? The crazy lich that runs the Emerald Claw. We have Shane Husk. Shane is a best-selling novelist, wizard, hobgoblin who wrote about the last war. We have Banner, who is a warforged paladin of the Becoming God. And we have Arwen Chi Zizu, who is the carrier of the dodecahedron that can guide the players to Metrol making, the glass plateau making, and the what is it? The claw, the big spire. That was where my end game is going to be. So they have now hit level 8. So I don't know if their perceptions and insight and investigations and stuff went up. I should probably look at them. But I have like a couple of a couple of different ways to get to the characters, including this one, which tells me what skills they're trained in, what their passives are. This is sort of my DM screen that I can pull up quickly. And then I have links to each of the characters, so we can look at each of them and say, is there 15, 11, 12? Was there 15, 11, 12? So it's the same. So far, it looks like their passives are the same for the sample size of 1 that I did. They just hit 8th level. Yeah, so he's a half-elf sorcerer 6 cleric 2. They like their multi-class. This group likes to do their multi-class characters, which that's fine, I guess. I'm not really into it, but they're into it. 8th level is very powerful. So Schlitzlink, I saw someone recommend something to add to legendary monsters is they use saves to remove effects such effects as well. Say you roll and they fail, you let the effect go on, and then they burn yeah, you could do that, right? The idea of like I can burn a legendary resistance to end an effect. That could be useful if like you get force caged, right? Like you can describe how they use a legendary action to bust a force cage. So adding a legendary save doesn't do anything to an encounter that couldn't normally occur, which is why it's such a good mechanic. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like that's a whole different thing. Where otherwise, you're just saying they made a save. They could have just made the save. True. I think you got to be careful with it, like all things. So we have reviewed the characters. Why did this go back? Bang. So our strong start. So if you recall, in our last session, in their last prep session, we talked about that they were going to the lair of a Balhaneth. And let's go here. And so why does it go to the Google page? I don't want to go to that. I want to go here. Go to Balhaneth. And so this is the monster that we're going to pull up. It is a nice, big, juicy Challenge 11 monster, and it has a lair and warps reality around it. So they've gone into the lair of a Balhaneth. It's the Balhaneth's hunting ground. And it's going to be, let's see, it warps reality. After 10 minutes, the terrain in the area reshaped to assume the appearance of a location sought by one intelligent creature whose mind the Balhaneth has read. The transformation affects non-living material only and can't create anything with moving parts or magical properties. Any object created in this area upon close inspection is revealed as a fake. Books are filled with empty pages. Golden items are obviously counterfeit and so on. Transformation lasts until the Balhaneth dies. So I like the idea that they're basically going to go into a place. They don't know where they're going, right? And they're thinking like, oh, it's going to be weird Creepyville. And it is going to be weird Creepyville, but it's going to be weird Creepyville based on one of the characters. I think I'm going to cheat right now, and we're going to roll a die to figure out which one of the characters has their mind read. So we'll go back to our characters. We'll do them in this list, right as it is here, which I think is like, it looks like reverse alphabetical. So whose mind is getting read? We rolled 2. I don't want to do sabers. Is sabers? Sure, we'll do sabers. We'll go with the die. It'll be meaningful to him. He's kind of the least one connected with the story, which is why I'm kind of not into it. I'm gonna try a different one. Don't tell. 4. Who's 4? Shane Husk could be Last War. So I guess let me think about these and let's think about which one's coolest instead of rolling randomly. So Zarentir could return to his family's estate. His dad could be very upset with him about the fact that he blew up an airship. So the idea behind this is that the Balhaneth has read the mind of one of the characters and built a whole lair around that character. And they'll go there and it'll be like a place that the character was thinking of. But all the characters will show up. They'll all be there and they'll be like, what the hell are we doing here? And there'll be interactors that will be there as well. So in Zarentir's case, he will go home and he'll have very upset parents who are... who are talking to him in his fancy palatial estate. Saber, it could be the Four Winds Monastery high up in the snowy mountains and various members of the Shifter Four Winds monks that are there. Shift, it could be the laboratory where she and Crash were built, and her patron could be there talking to her about the importance of maybe joining House Kenneth isn't the best thing, and maybe she ought to join one of these other groups. Shane Husk. Yeah, and Octo says one character has 2 minds. That's correct. Shift has Crash. So it'd be interesting to have the two layers there. Shane Husk could be back in the last war when he was doing reporting, and he could see these like huge Warforged machines smashing through things, and we could have like a fun bit of like the area of that. Banner also. So both Shane and Banner could have like the times when after the war when he was there with the Lord of Blades and they were wiping out village after village. That could be an interesting one. And then Chi, what would Chi's be? I don't know. I don't know much about Chi's history, so it's probably not going to be Chi because I can't think of that one. So of those, which ones sound the coolest? We have. You could do like The Graduate. I'm just watching the movie The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman. It's just so funny. And like his crazy rich parents who treat him like a piece of furniture. Like that would be a fun way to do Zarentir's thing is like The Graduate. Saber and the Monastery could be pretty interesting. I could just steal it directly from a mixture of Kill Bill and Crouching Tiger. That would be kind of fun. Shift could have the whole like, weird built laboratory, the time when she was made. It could be the missing 24 hours. So she's had in her head the missing 24 hours. That could be really kind of cool. Shane Husk could have the being a reporter during the war, and Banner could be after the war, the aftermath of the war, when he made the choice to not be Who got spanned? Oh, someone got spanned for caps. Woohoo! So, yeah, there's a way to do a vote. I'm not going to try to figure out how to do a vote in Twitch right now. That sounds like that. Yeah, I got upset. You got caps. Sorry. Nightbot is ruthless. So, so those are 5 that are kind of not bad. Which ones to me? So the Graduate one sounds kind of fun because you could literally have it be like The Graduate. Like he's home, he looks younger, right? It's like his family is there and his family friends are there. And like, one of the, one of his families, one of my favorite lines, favorite lines from The Graduate, right, is, you don't find me attractive? He goes, no, I think you're by far the most attractive one of my parents' friends. You could definitely have a fun bit of comedic situation there. Probably not as thematically interesting, but it's still kind of fun. Yeah, well, we'll have to figure out what settings I need to, to hit. The Monastery is not bad. I don't really know where to go with it. And the Graduate doesn't normally suggest high adventure. No, but it could be a very funny scene. And it'll be so different from what they expect. Like the difference there is like, they won't really know what's going on. They'll be like, wait, we're in Zarentir's house and his parents are here and his parents' friends are here. And they could learn that like, one of his parents' friends could be, one of his parents' friends could be Leto Skull. Like Leto Skull could have been there, right? And it could just be interesting. So it's not normally high adventure, but it would be, kind of a fun one. Yeah, the reporter on the front lines of the last war, they often talk about doing doing a flashback to the last war. So that one could be pretty cool. And that could actually mix like Banner and Shane Husk together. Could be pretty interesting. And you could throw like an army of undead at them. I think, I think that one could be pretty interesting. So why don't we do the war? It sounds like the war. Should we go with the war? What do you guys think? I think we're going to go with the war. It's more mainstream. There's part of me that thinks like there's no reason you couldn't do 2, right? Like they could figure one out and then it switches over to the other. That one could be kind of interesting. But the bigger question is, so let's see. So if we do the Graduate to the last war, That's like, and that's two big extreme examples, right? And one's sort of a role play thing, and then they figure out that this isn't true, and they sort of tear through it, and then it goes into the war. Like, they walk through a doorway, and then bam, they're on the battlefront. And like, what the hell's going on here? So that might be kind of an interesting way to go. How does a question I have is like, so the Balhaneth warps reality around, creates this thing. Then how does it actually devour people? So in this case, Mrs. Robinson is actually the Balhaneth and starts to devour Zarentir. Then how else does the Balhaneth like hunt? How does it hunt people? It can make a bite and a pair of tentacle attacks. So the idea that Mrs. Robinson is the Balhaneth at one point, and then, too easy. Stop posting links. Oh no, who got moderated there? Yeah, well, yeah, Evil John, if you would, can you keep notes and we'll fix the bot. We'll fix the bot next time. I think it's too extreme. I don't know how much I need a spam bot. I'll have to look at like what it does. Sorry, Nightbot is trying to do too good a job. The problem with the moderators, they want to moderate. So like so the Balhaneth is Mrs. Robinson in one circumstance. And then, he's not your problem. Good question about what the monsters know what they're doing with Balhaneths. So then who would the Balhaneth be? If it then jumps to the last war and Banner is on a mission to protect Shane Husk during a reporting thing, who would the Balhaneth represent in that scene? Who would the it would be kind of an NPC, maybe a commanding officer of, or like Banner's best friend, right? And Banner's best friend is the Balhaneth. And in this case, the Balhaneth, its goal is like try to separate them out. Like, you go out there, I'll go with these guys, and then it slowly tries to devour them, right? So it's trying to separate the party. This is kind of hard as an encounter because it's trying to separate the party at the same time. It's trying to separate the party and try to devour them, right? Which is how it would work. But that doesn't necessarily make for the most fun in a D&D game. So scene one is uncomfortable. With the I don't know how to spell the land here. Then once they figure it all out, they'll actually face the Balhaneth. And then they escape. And they go to... I think I had two different places. Is it Arathon Keep? I think that's... Arathon Keep. A-R-Y, Arathon. Oops. I don't know what just happened there. And then travel to Arldusk. And Arldusk is their new city. And then that's probably going to be enough for today. So what secrets and clues could be discovered? So Lido Skal. what is good friends with Zarentir. Family. That's a secret. Can it be multiple places? Maybe it has the commander say go one way and then the arcane ballista bolts hits nearby. Yeah. So I think that there's, its goal is to kind of separate people out. And it represents these different things. There is a powerful creature of Zoriat known as a bow that can warp to create its hunting ground. There's a powerful creature called of Zoriat known as a Balhaneth that can warp reality to create its hunting ground. And we'll go down to monsters, of course. And create a link for that. Hey, look at that, I got a link. Are there other secrets and clues that they could discover from the dreams? Like, you want them to learn things. I want at least 5 of these to be like things that they can learn while they're in these crazy alternate realities. He brought Valentine as a guest. It's almost like Predator on a battlefield. Not quite. The difference with it, the problem is it rebuilds the whole environment around it. So it's sort of like Cube, right? It creates a whole hunting ground, in an illusionary hunting ground, and then hunts them down inside the illusion, which is pretty cool. It's a really great monster. Like, it's a really, really cool monster. Link to who knows the missing 24 hours. So the missing 24 hours. Yeah. So what happened during those 24 hours is a question. This is for Shift. And could we expose what happened in the missing 24 hours? Well, we could have illusionary Lady Omaro, who may show up on the battlefield. Because why not? Lady Ilmaro. She's a powerful one. She's a CR22. I think she's a lich. Illusionary Lady Ilmaro can see through the illusions. Reminds me of the stuff surrounding the Queen of Fairy and Pratchett's We Free Men. Yeah. It's a Barlgrow with lair actions, pretty much. So what? Yeah, that would be a good one. There's a Lady Omaro, because they're going to fight like Emerald Claw, Emerald Claw soldiers. What was she? Is she an assassin? Is the missing 24 hours that she was told to kill the King of Breland for, she's a sleeper agent? And that learning this now, is that cool? So the player doesn't mind kind of dark secrets like that. So finding out that Crash was her brother isn't a big deal. What if she killed the real Caius the Third? Is Caius, who was that? Wasn't Caius the Third the Galifar king? And wasn't that like 100 years ago? That's not bad. That's kind of interesting. How about that Shift was embedded with House Kanath as a sleeper assassin. And it's still in her, but now she knows it's there, right? Who was Caius the Third? Under the tomb, Caius sealed most of Kanath's undead deep in the vaults in order to... Is Caius dead? Caius the Third dead? There's a whole thing about the Caius the Third here. During the last war, many Bone Knights took service in order to McClaw, helping the name. The last decade, King Caius III of Carnath has done much to ensure a peaceful end to the last war. Under the treaty, Caius sealed most of Carnath's undead deep in vaults in order the Emerald Claw disbanded. A few Bone Knights remained in service. So maybe, yeah, she's a sleeper agent assassin intended to kill Caius III. What else? Yeah, that's not a bad one. What other secrets can we drop in here? What other things could they learn? Is there other secrets about the characters? So they could uncover some secrets. Is there other things about them that we could learn during the war? Is there anything about Shane Husk's involvement in the war that we could figure out? I don't know. All right, well, let's go with other secrets too. So what other secrets do we have? We know that Leto Skal, we'll go with some other secrets in the meantime, sent, what is her name? Imperi. Leto Skal sent Imperi de Falarn to... Leto Skal sent Imperi de Falarn to Eston. Well, to Arldusk first, right? Leto Skal sent Imperi de Falarn to Arldusk, and then Eston to find a way, to find a path to making and the Glass Plateau. That's kind of a juicy secret, and it's a big one. It's like this is like the big thread, is that they need to follow the path of Imperi de Falarn. And Imperi has a path. So that's a big secret. Wow, there's a lot of like strange comments going on inside of the Twitch chat. I don't know what's going on with that. Comments on recent link between gaming and teenage violence. I don't think so. And yeah, what is that? Yeah, Evil John. Dump those people. I don't need instigators. So, let's see. What other secrets do we got? 5 more secrets. I don't know. We're going to pass on this for a minute. So, right now, so the big ones that we have, and I think we have a Balhaneth layer. We have... yeah, I need to figure out this other place. So, Arathon Keep. I need to figure out what's going on in that. And then Arldusk. One day I'll spell it right. Those are sort of the big locations going on. So Arathon Keep, I don't think, let's see. I don't think there's actually any lore about it anywhere. First we'll start by doing a search here. Nothing about Arathon Keep there. Let's take a look on the web. So the Eberron wiki. Fairly is separated by Thornwood from the lightning rail leading to Arldusk, nearest major town. The 1,000-yard Stair Guild is stationed here, along with their leader, Shandara de Madani, whose objective is to both rebuild the keep and patrol the border of the Mournland. That could be kind of cool. Heavily damaged by troops. So it's a ruined keep. The 1,000-yard stair. That's kind of cool. Let's take that as a secret. Thousand Yard Stair Guild is stationed at Arathon Keep, along with their leader Shandara, who will become an NPC, Dimadani, whose objective is to both rebuild the keep and patrol the border with the Mournland. So they'll come up on the other side when they come up through. Maybe they could face more. What are those? What are the crazy monsters? And they'll probably have enough fights at that point. Like once they get through the other side, they might not have, but there could be Dolgrams, right? We have Dolgrams. Are there other kinds of Dolgrams? Are there more powerful versions? Dolgaunts, yeah. So we could have some Dolgrams and Dolgaunts on the other side. We'll just stick those in the monsters, though. Whoops. Dolgaunts. Oh, look at that hyperlink that screwed up. Dolgrams. I think I might have spelled it wrong. No, I did. I got it. D-O-L-G-R-I-M. Dolgrim. So in whites, we're going to have a lot of whites. What other kinds of things are going to fight on the other side? Ghouls, right? Lots of ghouls. Ghouls are good fodder. Whoops. This is during the war, right? When they go into when they're in the last war, they're going to be facing armies of undead. Did the Ilfarn, is it just general undead? We could have skeletons, of course. You can never have enough skeletons. Time for a horde, right? We're going to run a horde of skeletons. The undead will be Eberron-y. What does Eberron-y mean? Well, they could have some powers associated with it, I guess. Are there Karnathi undead? I mean, you could have a Bone Knight, right? Maybe. Could be a Bone Knight leader. Looking a lot like Lord Crash, right? There's a specific CR3 skeleton / zombie. That's a Karnath. I don't see him. If you mean the Bone Knight, but the Bone Knight's actually not undead. It's a living thing. And maybe Lady Elmara will show up. Man, hitting the wrong thing. So yeah, so I got a lot of monsters. I think I think, you know what? I should have a backup just in case the player can't make it. So I guess, what in a pinch, as far as the Balhaneth layer is concerned, if Pat for some reason couldn't make it to the game, it would suck if it was Pat's place. Then maybe we just go straight into the, maybe we go straight into the other dream. I kind of like the mixture of the two dreams though. So maybe, I think at that point we would do shifts. Saber's temple, big airy temple. Treasure, I think they're good on treasure. I just gave him a bunch of stuff. Let's poke for a minute for funsies. Why don't we poke through the characters and take a look at magic items and stuff like that. So Zarantir, he might be due for something. Whoops. I don't know what magic items he's got. Think equipment. He's got a wand of magic missiles. I wonder where he got that. That's not really great. He's got a orb of shielding. I think he made that one. I think, yeah, a couple of these. I don't know what these are. He's got these interesting foci. I wonder where those came from. It is a common item, so I think he just picked that one up. He is a storm sorcerer. His AC is pretty high. Because he's a cleric, and I guess that lets him wear breastplate. That's why his AC is pretty good. It always bugs me when people dip to get AC. So he could probably do with a magic item better than this. I'll keep him in mind. Man, his icon's cool looking. I wonder if players mind that I go. So Saber doesn't keep his. He does his sheet manually. So I don't have a copy of that. But he's festooned. He just got a new magic item. Shift, I believe, has a. So she's carrying the Sending Stone, but I thought she also had a. She's Dark Shard Amulet. They got a lot of uncommon. I think I threw a bunch of uncommon stuff there. I thought she had a Rod of the Packkeeper, but she doesn't. So she's probably due for a Rod of the Packkeeper. I don't know where you'd find something like that. The Rod of the Packkeeper is like the ultimate. AC is 15. I could just throw some random stuff in there. Let's take a look at Shane. They're 8th level, so they're due for like a nice, good, juicy. Look at his background, man. I like the people that customize their sheet. He's got the glowy bits. He has lack, which is the sentient orb, but that doesn't count because that's like a whole thing. He's got a armor of necrotic resistance is pretty good. He's got a lot of stuff. Glyphed goblinoid stone. Those are all one-use things. He's the carrier of the one-use things. So really, his armor is the only thing that he's got going. He's got low AC too. He could probably use. Man, I've gone light on the magic items. Banner's festooned with magic items. He got one that blinds people, but it's got multiple charges. I'm trying to wonder how the multiple charges came in. He's got Lightbringer and Nightbringer, two different magical. One is a longsword. I think Lightbringer was made. I think that one was built by Chi. And Nightbringer he actually picked up, which does blindness. Do they both do blindness? Yeah, they both do blindness. He's got 2 blinding weapons. Funny. And Chi. It's probably time for a wish list. Chi doesn't have anything. Like, he's not attuned to anything. So, I think, yeah, boy, everyone. So I need to do a wish list because they could all use stuff. So, I think we'll do a good +2 Rod of the Pack Keeper. I don't know where that is going to come from, but that could be something. Ring of Protection. Cloak of Protection. Is it a Ring of Shielding? I don't think they have Rings of Protection anymore. No, they do have Rings of Protection. Okay. Because people love armor class stuff. A Wand of the War Mage would be a good one for people. +2. Because they're tier 2. Although, I like being a little bit more. I don't think they need fancy stuff. And let's roll some treasure. Let's go here. Dink. Treasure. Rope of Climbing. This stuff's good. I'll throw this here. This will be the Balhaneth's layer. So what do we got? Potion of Hill Giant Strength. Spell Scroll, Spike Growth, Rope of Climbing, and a bunch of, other kind of odds and ends. That's not bad. So treasure is good. Monsters is good. NPCs, Shannara de Madani. What's the deal with the Madani? Let's take a look at that. Oops. I guess that's not really what I want. House Madani, Basilisk Eye, represented by the Basilisk Eye, the Warning Guild of House Madani brokers services of bodyguards and inquisitives. That's a juicy secret. One great thing about using like campaign stuff is you can just copy and paste right into risk assessment and management, protecting clients from both physical and social threats. So who's paying them? Members of House Madani are half-elves with deep roots in Breland. So the monks. Whoops. The monastery of, and what was the name of that location? Of Angwar Keep. Of Angwar Keep. Group of pacifist warforged monks of the Becoming God reside in the monastery of Angwar Keep. There are tunnels. There are secret tunnels beneath. Oh, actually, we're going to keep the secret tunnels, but what's her name? Imperai. Imperai de Falarn went to Angwar, believing there were secret passages to Eston beneath the keep. and the Eastern River. That's a good secret. I don't know. That's probably enough. I got a lot. I'm good. I'm good on secrets. So let's just do a quick review. How long is the show going? 50 minutes. So we got 10 minutes left. So we got this whole Balhaneth scene. I sure hope Pat shows up. I like the idea of like the most uncomfortable dinner party ever, and it's, right. It's like his parents are embarrassing him constantly. I like that, whoops. And then it jumps to war, right? And then it's like, they're going to be on this field and I'm going to just like, I'm taking my box of miniatures, figuratively taking my box of undead miniatures and hurling it at them. Wow. Why am I showing ads? Ugh. Pits, man. I'm just going to hurl undead at them for a while and we'll see how that goes. And I think Lady Elfarin will show up. Lady Elmara will show up and she'll spill some secrets and then like they'll chat. They have to find the Balhaneth. They have to realize that this is coming from the Balhaneth. And my players are smart. They're going to figure it out. And then they will make their way under Arathorn Keep. There'll probably be some remnants and some members of the Madani will be down there. So there'll be like tunnels and passageways. I need a map. Let's go to maps. You can see my new little toolkit here is really pretty handy. So I need a place that's got an underground. He added more maps. How is he past 900 yet? 899. Dude, add one more map. Make that a nice round number. Insta Dyson August Dungeon Demo. That's pretty funny. Hey, a Beholder Pit. That's cool. Dungeons of Windfell Keep. That's pretty cool. Man, he's got a lot of new stuff here. Lost Tomb Complex. Secret Base. Dungeon of Holding. Dyson is a machine. He's not just a machine. He's a true cult basement. Oh, thank you, Dyson. So many good ones. He is a true D&D hero. Like the stuff he is putting out that we can use, he is a true hero. And man, such awesome stuff here. So what I'm looking for is this looks pretty good. Nice 3D map. We're going to steal this one. They're usually too big for me to import directly, so I've got to do a little. So, Arathorn Keep. Choose image. And we have Arathorn Keep. Notion added something really cool. So Notion, as you notice, now has a backlinks, which says what pages link to this one. So I can navigate to this. If I go to, for example, if I go to Lido Skal, I can see every page that has led to Lido Skal. It's unfortunate I can't get rid of the notes, but I can see Night Sky, Chris, Lack, Valentine Flame Touched, right? If I go to Lack, I can see all the backlinks: Zine, Thrine, Vroom, Emissaries of the Dreaming Dark. The emissaries: Lack, Chris, Vorn, Thrine, Sin, Case, and War are the 7 emissaries. The 7 emissaries are orbs, magical orbs that have come from the Dreaming Dark. They're the emissaries of the Dreaming Dark, manifested in orbs. But they're all, so you now have backlinks to everything. And that's just, I don't know. I love backlinks. So the main thing is when they get to, when they break on through to the other side, they will, that's an Arathorn Keep. They'll come up this way. Like I'm just going to start the map here. and they will make their way up these like round areas, and then they'll start to get into other caves, and they'll see like, wait, there's rooms here that were built, old chambers, and some of them are filled with spillage of Kyber. But then they'll get to these stairs in this area, and they'll meet guards of the Madani, and then there'll be like a staircase that leads up into the main keep, and then they'll be in this ruined keep where the Madani are watching the other wall, and they can learn some stuff there from their NPCs. So that's their way out of Kyber. It'll be the first time they like look to the sky and be like, oh, thank God. Like, man, we're like thousands of miles away from where we were, but at least we're not underground anymore. So I think that will be pretty cool. So I think we're all set. I think I've got my notes. I got a strong start. I've got some fun scenes. A lot of craziness in this one. We'll see how it plays out. I might go, wow, that was a mistake. That Balanath thing? Whoa, what a pain in the ass that was. There's something to be said about just running good old-fashioned dungeons, I'll tell you. Like, just keep your life easy and run nice, straightforward D&D adventures, because that's what it's all about. Let's see. I don't need that because that's my other group. Oh, come on. What just happened? Mink, delete. I do need that one. I need that one. I don't need that one. I don't need that one. So I've got my aliases for Avre. Oh, no. I didn't want to do that. There we go. Got my treasure. Got my scratch pad. Got a list of monsters. Got one NPC. That's fine. I've got the links to the lairs. I've got some secrets. I've got scenes. I got my strong start. I've reviewed the characters. I am good. I feel good about my game today. So any other thoughts or questions? We've got, a couple minutes left if there's anything we want to talk about. I haven't been paying much attention to the chat. Let's see. Yeah, the tie-in. Right, the Becoming God works. What if the House Madani's prophets is expecting the party? Do they have prophets? I don't know if I'm going to do profits. It's a little too much. Yeah, no, things are good. So I guess we will call the show done for today. So I want to thank everybody for coming along. Sorry about all the trouble we had at the beginning of the show. My stupid machine was the update from hell. And we will see. I will be back online next Sunday, and we will see how things went. So thank you all very much for coming. Have a great week, and hopefully get online and play a bit of D&D. Talk to you all later.